Hello, TFG listeners. I would like to welcome you to our podcast, Situational Awareness. As always, I'm Priest 101, or Kirk, and joining me is my co-host, Blogschnarb, or Eric, to provide you with the answers to problems that you never knew existed. But with that, let's get on with today's show.
Eric.
Kirk.
As someone who's now played D&D with me in our group, over on TFG Twitch stream.
TFG, as in TrueFriendsGaming?
Yeah, you know how we do our D&D session every 2 weeks that we stream?
Oh, I do know that, yeah.
Yeah? How would you feel if all of a sudden in this world, things weren't really determined fully by your skill? It was just based off of stats and rolls.
I would absolutely despise it. Well, okay, hold on.
Yeah?
So stats and rolls, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said stats and rolls.
Okay. So that's not as bad as what I thought you were going to say. So if it was just rolls, I would absolutely despise it. I'm a very unlucky person. I do not trust anything that I do to be chance-wise. Now, if I can kind of pad that by having stats, can I control my stats, or are my stats just what I was born with?
You do have the roll when you're born, and you could be completely screwed, and you could have really bad base stats at the start.
But can I train?
Yeah.
I go to school and I gain some knowledge, and then I do sports and I gain some strength or something like that.
Yeah, as long as you're consistent, it's not going to just be completely 1-to-1. It's going to take some effort and training. So you, in theory, but you'll be worse. It's going to be harder for you to train if your base strength stats are lower.
Well, yeah, but once I get them to a certain point, then I'll be better at doing whatever I have to do.
Yeah, it's still gonna be you'll always never be as good as you could. Your potential will always be stunted.
Just because I got some shit rolls.
Yeah, just because you got some shit rolls at this, your parents, right.
Now,
every
do
time
I roll my own stats when I'm born?
No.
So my parents would have rolled my stats.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they picked where your they picked where your stats go.
Oh no.
No?
Nope.
What do you, if your parents had to roll your stats, how do you think? All right, so we'll do 2 situations. So the first one is if just because I'm curious, if your parents rolled the stats for you, where would that roll go into?
Now, are we doing normal D&D stats?
They roll, yeah, intelligence, yes, all that stuff. So what if your parents rolled for you? What would they have done for you? Out of curiosity, because you're an intelligent guy, I don't think you're dumb.
Whatever the highest thing is, that's what they would put for intelligence. Second highest for wisdom.
Okay.
After that, they'd probably go strength,
Uh-huh.
then constitution, then dex, then charisma.
Oh, is that different than what you would pick? Would you not do wisdom and intelligence? Because that's what I would do.
I think I would go intelligence, dex, wisdom,
Okay.
charisma,
Uh-huh.
constitution, strength.
Ooh, I think I would go intelligence and just charisma. Just have a silver tongue. Just seduce everyone all the time. Yeah, I mean, I feel like most people would just have their kid be intelligent because you can always work on physical muscles over time. And I mean, you can technically go to school, but there are just some people with a low IQ and just some people who probably just will never get there no matter how hard they try. And I guess that's the same with sports too. And
for intelligence versus wisdom, how do you see those? Because to me, intelligence is the ability to learn things, and then wisdom is
Let me say this. I don't know what the difference between. I'm getting stuff about computers for some reason. All right, the major difference between intelligence and wisdom is that intelligence means implementing the gained knowledge wisely and perfectly, and it can be learned by gaining more experience of the field. While wisdom is something that never comes with age. What?
Right. So wisdom is just something that you have. If you are wise, things just make sense to you faster.
Okay.
But intelligence is the ability to learn things. So yes, I would like to be wise. I'd like to just know things because I know them. I saw them once 15 years ago, so now I know that. But intelligence is math. You learn how to do math, and then over time you get better at it, and after a while you can do math. 2 + 2, what is that? It's 4. Why do you know that? Because when I was young, they drilled it into my head and I remembered it, and now I am intelligent to the point where I know what 2 + 2 is.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom would be kind of understanding how the numbers work. So I don't care so much about knowing things just from looking at them. I would prefer to be able to learn them as I need them and then retain that information.
All right. How do you think society would look if everyone always knew each other's stats? Would there be a strict hierarchy? Would we just start chitting on people who are oh my god, this place is only for people with an intelligence of 15 or higher?
I feel probably, but it wouldn't be
Is that a new form of racism or discrimination?
Yeah, it would definitely be a form of discrimination. Like if you apply for a job, like say accounting, like you need to have your intelligence and your wisdom like 15 or higher. You know, they're not gonna let fucking my character with 6 intelligence be there crunching numbers.
Do you think that would make giving people like a future or jobs easier, like applying for jobs and stuff?
Yes, 100%. Because you no longer have your the fuck's it called when you apply somewhere?
Resume?
You no longer have a resume. You now have your stat sheet. You now hand in your stat sheet, and they go, okay, this person has the ability to learn what they need to learn in order to do the job. They can get the job.
I mean, stat sheets are pretty much like resumes for characters in D&D. Like you have a history in there of what you've done and what you can do. So I mean, like you still have your past jobs in there and stuff.
Right, but sure, I could have worked at, I don't know, a gym for 5 years, but I can have a shitty strength, you know?
Yeah, but still, even all you're doing by increasing your stats is there's definitely going to be a cap at some point. Like you can't just infinitely increase your stats. So there'll be a point where there are people who are just still naturally better at things than others. So, and you still have the luck element too. Like it increases your chances of being able to succeed on something with the roll, because the dice rolling is still a part of the lifestyle. So it's like, you know, okay, I have to go I have to go drive to work. Let's see if I make it there. Okay.
Dude, I would die in 2 days.
Oh,
I would
man.
never make it past 4 years old.
What else would oh man, there's just so many things that are just so insane. Because I mean life is really like a dice roll in a lot of cases. But sometimes, I mean, a good amount of time, yeah, there's sometimes you could just be really unlucky and bad things can happen to you. It's just like, you know, really, really unlikely. What if the dices are big enough?
Right, so in D&D, the dice are like 1 out of 20. If you roll a 1, you're fucked. If you roll a 20, good job. You know, like, here you go. You found $100 on the floor. But in real life, it's like 1 to a million. And if you get anything under 100, then you're fucked. But anything between 100 and, you know, 999,000 is kind of whatever. You know, like if you roll that million, like, okay, sure, you ran into, you know, George Washington and he promoted you to... fucking General of the Army.
General of the Army?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also use George Washington.
I think I do okay. I don't know. I feel like it could be fun to just rely on dice rolls for stuff and just... I'd be fine with it for like a year or something. Maybe not my entire life.
I'd be fine with it for certain things.
Okay, like what?
Nothing important.
Nothing important.
Nothing life-threatening.
Nothing life-threatening.
No, you know what? Nah, nothing life-threatening.
Nothing life-threatening.
You're like, I don't want to have to roll a die when I get in my car to see if I make it to where I want to go. And then if I roll a 2, I end up in Nebraska. You know, like...
You just teleport? You're just like, all right, guess I have to get on a plane now.
I just forgot where I was going, and I ended up in Nebraska. Like, I don't know. I assumed 1 would be death, so, like, 2 is the next worst thing, which is, like, I show up somewhere completely different. Canada. Next worst thing.
Canada. Yeah, Canada would be pretty awful. Everyone totally hates Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. What if we limit it to just interactions with other human beings personally? So maybe not in vehicles and stuff per se, but it's just like anytime you have to have any sort of interaction with another human being in your day-to-day life, you roll to see how that goes.
So every time a customer calls me about insurance, I have to roll to see how persuasive I am on whether or not they believe what I'm saying.
Yeah, for things that would really require it, there's like common speaking to each other, but it's like whenever you're trying to get them to believe you, or you know, if they're smart enough to understand what you're fully saying.
Oh fuck, dude, I have to roll so many times a day.
Yeah, that's the part of the job now.
Now, are they rolling to like disprove what I said, or are they rolling to understand what I'm saying?
It probably depends on the kind of person they are. And the kind of situation you're in. So if they came in thinking that they weren't, you know, that they think like insurance is evil and that you're not going to get them any sort of good deal, they'll be skeptical of it.
40% of the calls that I pick up start off with, "You screwed me over. You're committing fraud." Like that's half my calls that I pick up.
They say that to you. You're committing fraud.
They think that we're all the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they could speak to a woman before they speak to me, and they could be like, "I just spoke with you, and you told me this, and you're wrong, and you're committing fraud." I'm like, "Ma'am, who are you? What is your name? Who did you speak with?"
Oh no! Oh, that sounds terrible.
I can't remember their name. Kimberly. Like, we don't have a Kimberly here. There was something. Like, yeah,
I'm sure there was someone. Unless you're just completely BSing me right now. I'm sure someone did exist.
Can you tell me who you spoke with so I can find out what they told you?
Yeah.
That way I can tell you why you're wrong.
I don't know. I feel like this could be cool for a little while.
No, I would hate every second of it.
You'd hate every second of it. I would.
I like the idea of stat. I hate the idea of chance.
Fair. Chance does suck as a gamer sometimes. Like when we were playing Blood Bowl, oh my god, that drove me crazy. That drove me crazy. I can have like a halfway decent strategy and it just flubs. That's why at that I reached a point with Blood Bowl where I was just going through and just doing the most ridiculous stuff possible and hoping I'd at least roll well on it to do something absolutely insane, like throwing the ball across the map. Yeah, I'd want to do it for like, let's say a month trial. We'll do it for a month and we'll see how we feel about it. And then after that, maybe we'll get rid of it.
Because there's gonna be one day where like you're going to buy food and then you accidentally give them your bank account information and now you're broke. Like that's what would happen. Like
wow.
Like
yeah,
one day
maybe.
you just accidentally ruin your own life.
Who do you think is the nicest person in the world if you were to take a guess? Who would you determine to be the nicest person?
I've only met so many people. I can't answer that.
What if out of all of the people you know, you think you're the nicest person? Is there like a celebrity or someone like a
nice
figure?
As far as what, like how they speak to
kind,
people?
compassionate? Kind, compassionate. Like they'll do the best to try to help as many people as possible. If you were to take a guess, what if Gandhi was the dungeon master for everyone? Then would you feel a little bit better about it?
No, because what happens when I roll that one? He's gonna feel like shit, and he's gonna make me stab myself in the toe while trying to cut a bagel.
Why? Why do you think Gandhi would make you stab yourself in the toe?
Because I rolled a 1.
Yeah, so what if you rolled a 1?
So while I was cutting the bagel, my hand slipped, I dropped the knife, and it fell on my toe. That's the nicest thing he could do for me.
What's the worst?
I cut my finger off? I don't know.
I don't think that's the worst with a knife. I feel like there are way worse things that can happen with the knife.
Yeah, no, you're right. I've seen Final Destination. I slip on a puddle of water, the knife bounces off the counter, goes up in the air, and plunges straight down through my chest, through my heart, and then I die. But not quickly. Very slowly.
Very slowly.
And I'm like gurgling blood and screaming for help, and there's nobody around. Actually, there is somebody around. It's a baby, and they come try to help me, but there's still water on the floor, and they slip, and then they accidentally pull down a toaster, and then they get electrocuted.
Wait, the baby dies too? Because
the baby dies too.
Because you fucked up. Who's the baby?
Rolled
Where
did
this
also.
baby come from? Oh, the baby also rolled a 1.
Yeah. And Gandhi's just like, I'm so sorry. He's just murdering us.
What if I told you you only had to go based off your raw stats until you're the age of 18, and then after that, you had to start rolling for stuff?
The baby got really bad wisdom and dexterity. The baby just doesn't know how to function as a human being, and they tripped and they pulled the cord down.
No. What I'm saying is, what if this was the scenario? Like, you wouldn't have to start until you're 21. Till you're 21, you don't have to start rolling for things.
Right, but they still have their stats, right?
But you still have your stat. But you can still increase your stats over those first 21
years. The baby had really
years.
shitty stats when he was born. He's got really bad wisdom. He's got really bad dexterity. He's clumsy as shit, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And he slipped on a puddle of water and stabbed me again. He pulled the knife out of my all right, it's an infant. It's a toddler. He pulled the knife out of my chest. As he was stepping backwards, he slipped on the puddle of water and replunged it into the other side of my chest.
So in this situation, the baby doesn't die, though?
No.
Oh, okay, that's good at least. So
but I
a little bit
suffer
better.
more.
Yeah, who cares about you? You rolled a 1. What did the baby do? But I was saying, other than this specific situation with Gandhi causing you to cut your finger off cutting a bagel or plunging the knife into you, I was saying, what would you feel better about it if no one had to start rolling until they're the age of 18? So they are not 21. That way they had those first 21 years.
Because then you think you're you hit 18 or 21, whatever it is, right? Finally, you're of drinking age. You take your first drink. You get off your stool. You're too drunk. You got to roll to walk across the bar. You slip. You get trampled on by a guy with a mohawk.
Why does he have a mohawk?
I don't know. It's the guy from the bar.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Did we do these situations justice, or do you think you have a suggestion for us in the future? If so, leave us a comment. If you made it this far, then please like, subscribe, ring the bell, join our Discord, check out our live streams on Twitch, or check out some of our other content on the screen right now. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.